Hey there, it is worm bin day for me, and I've got some serious problems going on in my worm bin right now. I'm not actually sure if you're ever going to see this video, but just in case, I'm going to record it. The reason I'm not sure is that I have problems in here I don't know how to solve, and I don't like to come to you and say, here's a problem. If you have this same problem, that doesn't seem right. So I'm going to get in here, I'll show you what's going on, and then I'm going to do what I'm going to do about it. And then we'll see where we stand. Alrighty? Hang on a second. Let me get in here. First thing is that, as you can see, my bin has been on pause for the last 2 weeks. I was not feeding it, but when I realized that this problem was not correcting itself, I went ahead and gave them some mushroom stems the other day because I knew I wasn't going to be harvesting from this. Of course, now they're hiding. Here they go. I've had a massive pill bug problem. They won't hurt the worms, but they can outcompete the worms. Part of the problem is that it's dry in there, and I know that, and that's easy to fix. I have my spray bottle filled up with RO water ready for that. Now, I've also had an ant invasion, and this is actually where it all started. Let me tell you a story. This summer, high heat, drought, blah, 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 ants came inside to look for water, as you do when you are a creature who needs water. Fair enough. Well, they looked in my worm bin, and they set up shop in there, so the worms had to come outside for a while. It took me a couple of weeks to get that all situated. With the high heat, that was really scary for the worms. I'm pretty sure I lost some then. I'm pretty sure I lost some to the ants. Then I had a mite problem, probably from all of that being out of balance. And while the bin was outside, I picked up those pill bugs. I've been trying to get rid of them, and I keep the bin wetter and it doesn't get rid of them, and I keep the bin drier and it doesn't get rid of them, and it's supposed to be if you keep your bin wetter, it'll keep them out. I turned my compost the other day, it was saturated and filled with them. So my plan today is I'm not gonna harvest any vermicompost today. I'm going to pull out all my worms. So I'm gonna put them into a bucket with a part of an apple and a strawberry, and these are Malabar spinach leaves, and I'll put some of their medium in there with them. And then I'm gonna pull all the pill bugs into here with some, this is just some cuttings from the yarrow that have dried. I don't wanna throw them directly into the garden because there's so many, so I'm gonna put them in the compost bin after I do this. And I'm gonna do all this by myself. I'll pop on and talk to you about what I found and how it looks in a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see them, but I am finding some, not eggs. I'm finding future worms in here, so that is good. Otherwise, it's not looking real good in here, y'all. I have maybe a good handful of worms. Maybe. I should have handfuls. So, yeah, it's gonna be a big reset. I got most of the worms out. I'm gonna take one more pass at the worms, but I just wanna show you my roly-poly bin that I have going on right now. Look at all of them. Over there, I have a melon that was unevenly pollinated, and I'm gonna go pull that off and put it in here and see if that will help collect them while I take another pass at my worms. It looks like I have a good handful of worms and that there's going to be some baby worms, but they were definitely being outcompeted. They were not on the food that was in there, which they'd eaten a lot of it. They'd eaten all the comfrey leaves, but they were underneath the bedding, and I had a kind of a stratification problem with my moisture levels, and I will get to that in a little bit. All right, so see, this is mystery melon, by the way. It's not what I thought I planted, and I don't know what it is. I don't think I have a seed packet that matches this, but anyhow, you can see it didn't pollinate evenly, and so it's growing weird, and I just stabbed it with my hori, and I'm going to crack it open. Oh, weird, this one's orange inside. The last one was green inside, and quite delicious. Anyhow, I'm gonna see if this works. Okay, so I got that melon split into 3 pieces, and the other 2 are in here. I'm gonna put this one on the side where I've been putting all of the material that was in it, because I know I dropped a couple of pill bugs into that, so I'm gonna put that there to catch them. On my next pass, I only found 2 more worms, so I feel pretty confident that I got most of them. Why does your face always itch when you can't use your hands? All right, right now I'm gonna let it sit like this. I must have cat hair on my face. Right now I'm gonna let it sit like this and let them go to the melons and hope that they kind of collect there, and I'm gonna pick some of them off the top. And I do realize that my little shallow bowl for collecting them is not quite as effective as I had wanted. They're crawling out of it. That's okay. So I told you I had a stratification problem. So I had shredded paper on the bottom, and then cocoa coir, and then like food and stuff like that with some of their old material and a little bit of soil. And then I put comfrey leaves and then more paper on top of that. The paper on the bottom was wet and it was raining on the top, but the cocoa coir was completely dry. And I think that's part of this problem. There's a lot of earwigs in here too. I don't like them. They're not good for the worms. A lot of the pill bugs are leaving on their own because I keep messing with them, which is good. This is salvageable, and I do still have worms to work with. I will not be splitting my bin like I had hoped. Maybe in December I can. I will keep you updated on that. All right, I'm gonna go back to picking out pill bugs. I have a lot of them out. The melon is not helping right now because I am not being patient. I want them out. I did find 2 more worms. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna soak this bedding. This is mostly just the cocoa coir and soil that's left now. I've gotten out all the papers and most of the foods. There's little bits. I'm gonna soak them. Let's see, we got this much bedding still in there. Have it on a slight angle, and I am going to just wet it down and hope that they try to escape. They are coming out through the holes in the bottom and in the sides, and they are coming over the top. So let's just see what I can do here. I guess let's talk about the actual root of this problem, personality-wise. And that is, I am stubborn. And when there's a problem, instead of scrapping and starting over, I want to fix. And this is not just gardens. This is not just compost. This is a life thing for me, okay, y'all? When all those ants moved in, maybe I should have pulled out all my worms, cleaned them, scrapped all my material, and started fresh. Maybe. But I will say that I had some ants move in last night, and there are none in here, so I did learn how to get rid of them quick. By the way, I moved all my bedding to one side. I put First Saturday Lime on the other side very heavily, and then I came out here and I picked a whole bunch of mint plants, and I just covered the top, the bedding, in mint plants because ants hate mint. And so I drove them out, and then the bin sits up on bricks, and I put peppermint oil on those bricks to keep more ants from coming in. So I did learn how to get rid of them quickly, but had I just cleaned out my bin and started over, I would be far ahead and I wouldn't have lost the majority of my worm population. You know, this is the problem for me. This is the problem that I had with the bad soil. I kept trying to fix it and thinking I wasn't being patient and thinking I was being upset with a problem that I shouldn't be upset with. It actually was a problem I should have been upset with. As odd as it may sound, I think I need to be less of a fixer and be a little less patient and just jump to that scrapping things and starting over step a little bit sooner. I still like the learning part. I still like the trying to fix it part, but I need to know when it's time to call it. Yeah. Hey, so I put the camera this way so you could see in the bin. I got it mostly cleaned out from the pill bugs. I am gonna leave some in there just because biodiversity is good, and they do break down some things that the worms don't. They're good in there. They were just outnumbering my worms to the point that my population had severely dropped. So I am gonna get this bin reset. So I'm gonna put my dry bedding on the bottom. And then all of this is very saturated now because I soaked it to get those pill bugs out. So I think that's just gonna wet that right down, and it should help keep the ants out. And let me tell you that never before has it taken me an hour and a half to flip a worm bin. This was not how I planned to spend my day, but it's done, and my worms should be much happier now. Oh, little pill bug. So I'm giving them that melon because it didn't attract any of the pill bugs at all. And I had some avocados, strawberries, random food from the fridge. This is it. This is what I have left. That's all. But we're gonna get them going, and it's gonna be all right, and they're gonna rebuild. There's lots of little future worm babies in there. I saw them, had chats with them. It's all gonna be fine. Lots of food. I think we have the problem under control, and I know not to be so patient / stubborn next time. Alrighty. Get them covered back up. I'm not gonna give them more comfrey today, but I probably will later this week or next week. I forgot it's Wednesday already. See, I just dropped in more pill bugs. It's okay, it's just a few. So I pile everything on one side, and that way at the next feeding I can just flip all this over and see how they're doing. We are reset. I am hungry. I'm gonna go wash my hands 12 times or so and have some food. Thanks for going on this fun adventure with me. Later, y'all.